Although it cost him everything, the $6 million man is now worth $15 million. To become the biggest star on TV, he damaged bones, crashed automobiles, and jumped off buildings. In the background, his body was disintegrating. In 2003, his heart almost killed him, for his best buddy, his wife, Farrah Fawcett, left him. And every week, medical professionals had to remove fluid from his knees. However, he's accomplishing something no one anticipated at the age of 86. Majors is continuing filming stunts for a new science fiction picture, whereas other performers his age have retired. Looking at him today would stun you. Before he ever breathed in 1939, Lee Majors was born into heartbreak. 5 months prior to his birth, his father perished in an accident at a steel mill. While working as a nurse, his mother attempted to raise him alone during the most trying years of post-Depression America. On her way to work, however, Lee was struck and murdered by an intoxicated driver when she was just 17 months old. He was moved to Kentucky after being adopted by his uncle and aunt after becoming an orphan as a newborn. Lee was unaware of any of this for years. He believed that his adopted parents were his biological parents. However, he discovered old newspaper articles detailing the passing of his biological parents one rainy afternoon when he was a teenager and rummaging through their attic. Everything changed in that instant. He didn't spiral, he committed to himself. He made a vow that his adopted parents would never regret bringing him in. His desire with success was fueled by that promise. He put all his emotion into sports at Middlesbrough High School. He became a local celebrity and was so good at football that the school named their field after him years later. College scouts were drawn to his desire and quickness. He also received a football scholarship to Indiana University in 1957. However, things took a turn for the worst after only 2 years. He was expelled after getting into a heated argument with a fraternity member. He lost everything because of that one error: his future in major college football and his scholarship. He didn't give up, though. To give it another shot, he transferred to Eastern Kentucky University. However, catastrophe struck in his very first game. He was immobilized from the waist down for 2 weeks due to a back injury. Physicians were terrified. Lee was afraid of the end. However, he finally recovered completely and resumed walking and running. The NFL scouts who previously viewed him as a rising star had to go, even though his football career was permanently over. Lee shifted to acting after giving up football. While completing his degree, he began performing in minor plays at a Danville theater. By 1962, he was holding his graduation and faced with a decision. He might pursue his dreams or teach. After deciding on the dream, he relocated to Los Angeles. He accepted a position as a park recreation director in North Hollywood in order to support himself. His life then took yet another drastic shift. He got to know Dick Clayton, a well-known agent who used to represent James Dean. Lee was in his first movie within a year after Clayton spotted something in him and enrolled him in acting classes. It was only a brief flashback, but it was the beginning. In the midst of all of this, his personal life was subtly disintegrating. In 1962, he had a son named Lee Jr. after getting married young. However, the strain of moving to a new place, having no money, and not knowing what the future held became too much. After a while, his wife abandoned him and returned to Kentucky with their son. He told himself it was better that way, even if it broke his heart. His son was at least surrounded by relatives, but the ache persisted. He never forgot that time at the airport when he watched his son go, too young to realize that he might not return. Harvey Lee Yeary made the decision at this point that he needed a name that fit if he wanted to succeed in Hollywood. In remembrance of his football idol, Johnny Majors, he added Majors after dropping Harvey and keeping Lee. Being a star was not the only goal. It served as a means of clinging to the one quality that had made him unique before taking action. Then again, fate intervened. He encountered Rock Hudson, who recognized the young man with the movie star appearance and had visited Kentucky before. As promised, Hudson assisted Lee in establishing himself in Hollywood. He found him an agent, Dick Clayton, who had previously served as James Dean's mentor. Before he left for Hollywood with his wife and child, he organized study sessions at MGM, acting courses, and even helped him gain confidence. Majors even had a chance because of Hudson's unobtrusive assistance, which most people were unaware of at the time. Everything moved quickly once he was cast as Heath Barclay in The Big Valley. The admirers and the fame arrived, but regrettably, so did the ego. Initially, seasoned Hollywood icon Barbara Stanwyck attempted to help him. However, Majors didn't always behave with grace because he was still raw and a bit too self-assured. There was a specific instance that caused actual harm. He made fun of a set extra. She was Sherry Smothers, the sister of the well-known Smothers brothers, without realizing it. Stanwyck did not remain silent. She reminded him what it meant to become famous and called him out in front of everyone. She was standing up for the professionalism and respect that the industry required, not just for someone. Their conflict escalated into disputes over authority, respect, and money. Majors eventually had to issue an apology, but the damage had already been done. Like Hudson, Stanwyck had offered to mentor him, but he had missed the opportunity. Majors received a significant opportunity at about the same time. The main role in Midnight Cowboy. He was supposed to portray Joe Buck, a lost soul attempting to make it through New York City. The large valley was revitalized, yet it might have changed everything for him. The opportunity was gone in an instant. Instead, Jon Voight was cast in the part, earning him a spot in movie history and an Oscar nomination. It's odd to consider how a single choice, contract, or scheduling conflict may completely change a career. Had Majors accepted that position? How different his legacy might be, who knows? Nevertheless, he pressed on. He starred in the pioneering television film The Ballad of Andy Crocker, 1969, which told the story of a Vietnam soldier who returns to a world that has moved on without him. It was unadulterated emotion, not only pretending. When his character returned home, they discovered loss, betrayal, and a sense of alienation. With an unexpected ensemble that included Jimmy Dean and Marvin Gaye, Majors gave a more profound performance than fans had before witnessed. It demonstrated his variety and talent beyond simply looking nice on camera. But it was a daring story to present in 1969, when the war was still going on. As the years passed, Majors and Stanwyck had an unexpected development. As time went on and the fire subsided, the stress eventually gave way to thankfulness. Early on, Stanwyck had recognized something in him. She cared, which is why she had been tough. Majors had to earn it the hard way, but other players in the large valley maintained strong relations with her. And he did. Eventually, he referred to her as his best friend and mentor. It was a subdued acknowledgement that he had matured and that he now understood what she had been teaching him at the time. The Virginian was more than simply a role when Lee Majors joined the team in 1970. For a dying show, it was a new beginning. With a dramatic new look that mainly referenced spaghetti westerns, the series was relaunched as The Men from Shiloh. Majors' portrayal of Roy Tate was a perfect fit for this grim new vision. Everything was different. The theme song, which was now written by the renowned Ennio Morricone, as well as the sets and costumes. Viewers paid attention. A show that had been declining was suddenly back in the top 20 after ratings skyrocketed. Even yet, the 9th season ended up being its final one. The show was a victim of the notorious Rural Purge, a network decision that eliminated numerous primetime shows with a country theme, despite the chic makeover. Majors wasn't left in the dark immediately after. He launched himself into a new series. Owen Marshall, a legal counselor. Majors portrayed Jess Brandon, the younger partner of Arthur Hill's more seasoned lawyer in the legal drama. Since his name had previously increased ratings, the network brought him in the hopes that his celebrity would draw viewers. However, that wasn't precisely Majors' ideal role. He didn't like neckties or courtrooms. He missed movement, the great outdoors, and action. He once made a joke about how the only exercise he got was moving back and forth in a courthouse soundstage. The show did, however, have some highlights. Prominent visitors included John Travolta, Martin Sheen, and even a youthful Mark Hamill. Behind the scenes, the show also turned out to be quite important in his personal life. Farrah Fawcett, his future wife, was arranged by Majors to show up on a couple of episodes. The $6 million man, however, made the offer that might have made all the difference. He nearly rejected the concept when it initially came to him in 1973. The script made the project's original title, Cyborg, sound overly corny. He found the idea of a superhuman man performing acrobatics every 5 minutes to be too reminiscent of the campy Batman television series from the 1960s.